Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are going to be doing another unboxing. This unboxing has been waiting in the back lines for a very long time now. These are some Gemini Jets releases that I believe came out quite a few months ago now. One of these models I've even had in an airport update already. I've just had this off to the side kind of waiting to be unboxed. Just a myriad of many different things has led up to the fact that we haven't done this unboxing yet. We also have some other unboxings waiting as well. So ideally we should have an unboxing every single Tuesday for at least the next month. I say ideally because at the moment I am currently working full time and I work from 6 AM to 2 PM. So when I get home, I only have 2 hours of daylight left. So all the videos that I record have to be recorded in 2 hours of every day. But we're getting by, so I'm going to take this box off to the side now and then I'm going to bring out the models individually. Okay, so starting off with the model that you guys have already seen, this has been in a Baltimore update already, but we have the Gemini Jet Southwest Airlines 737-700 in the LoneStar 1 color scheme. I don't think I really need to explain why I bought this model. Of course, it's a Southwest model. I love Southwest. They fly into Baltimore. And as well, I've bought every single Gemini Jet state livery for the last 5 years, so I'm not going to lose that streak just yet. And so moving that one off to the side for now, we're going to get out the next model, which is also a Southwest model. We have the Gemini Jet Southwest Airlines 737 MAX 8. After that one, we then have a very interesting model. This is one I wouldn't typically go for, but I decided to anyway. We have the Gemini Jet's Hawaiian Airlines Airbus A321neo. Of course, my airports are mostly based on the East Coast, and if you know Hawaiian, they don't fly these aircraft to the East Coast. This aircraft is mainly just for those Hawaii to West Coast destinations. But I do love Hawaiian Airlines. They're an amazing airline. I've bought their A330, their 787, and when Gemini Jets released this, I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna get it. So I bought this one. This is the Hawaiian A321neo. Then moving from one A321neo to another, we have the Avianca A321neo. I've been waiting for an Avianca narrowbody aircraft for a very long time now. You guys that know my collection will know that I have this. This is my kind of custom Avianca A321. It's not a very nice model. This was originally a Gemini Jets Finnair A321, but I had somebody customize this for me, and while it's a pretty decent customization job, I just prefer the real thing, so I bought this. Now, Avianca don't fly the A321neo to Washington Dulles. It's more usually the A319 or A320, but as we don't have an A319 or an A320 yet, I thought that this is close enough. I'll put this in until we get an Avianca A319 or Avianca A320. Following on from that, we have two models that were released quite a while ago now. We have the Gemini Jets United CRJ 200s. Now, I originally ordered 5 of these United CRJ 200s when they were first released. Of course, they couldn't fulfill all of those 5 orders straight away. So they sent me 3 within the first month or so, and then now later on they're sending me the last 2. So these 2 will join my collection to create my 4th and 5th United CRJ 200s. And then last but not least, we have a very exciting aircraft for me in particular. We have the Gemini Jets FedEx ATR 72. Now, despite having over 300 aircraft in my collection, I don't yet have an ATR aircraft, and this is my first ATR 72 into the collection. But for now, we're just going to move this aircraft off to the side and we're going to open these aircraft one by one. So starting off today with the Southwest models, we have the Gemini Jets Southwest 737-700 in the LoneStar 1 color scheme. And as you know, I am trying to collect every single Southwest state livery. We're doing pretty well so far. We've got Colorado 1, we've got Triple Crown 1, we've got Tennessee 1, Florida 1, and Illinois 1. We also have now, of course, LoneStar 1, and we also have Maryland 1 and the California 1 aircraft on order as well. So after all those have come in, we only need 4 more state liveries to be released. We need Arizona 1, New Mexico 1, Nevada 1, and Missouri 1. And then we have every single Southwest state livery, which is a pretty massive achievement. But yeah, really exciting stuff. Of course, Southwest are a huge operator of the 737-700. They're the largest in the world. They operate over 460 of this type of aircraft. But of course, there is only one LoneStar aircraft out there. And taking it out of the box now, you can see that here we have the model in all of its glory. And so here we have the aircraft. Now this is the Gemini Jet's new mold. Now I say new, it's been out for about probably 5 years. But the weird thing is when Gemini Jet started to release these models, they started releasing them in the new livery. So the first one we got was the Triple Crown 1. That came out in the new livery. Then for some reason, Gemini Jets reverted back to the old mold and they released, I believe, Tennessee 1 and I want to say Colorado 1 as well in the old mold. And then they reverted back to the new mold. So I think that was just Gemini Jets having a funny 5 minutes there, but now we are officially back to having the new mold. Starting off at the front of the aircraft, we have the blue section. Now while this is known as LoneStar 1, it represents the Texan flag, so this is the Texas state livery. And so the flag that you see across this aircraft is obviously the Texas flag. We have the blue portion there with the star, of course the Lone Star, where it gets its name from. We then as well, along with that, we have the cockpit windows, the name of the aircraft there, and then we have the forward landing gear, the engines, and then moving back to the rear of the aircraft here, we have the other section of the flag. So this is the red and white section. The bottom of the flag is red, the top of the flag is white. We have the antenna there, the Wi-Fi box, the winglets, and then here we have, of course, the tail with the Southwest titles and the Southwest colors on the tail there as well. All in all, a really nice model. I really like this aircraft. I love this color scheme. It might be one of my favorite state liveries. I think that the Illinois one and maybe the California one liveries are probably at the top, but this is definitely near the top. I really like this aircraft and I cannot wait to add this into my collection. Then next up, moving on to our second model, we have the Southwest Airlines 737 MAX 8. Now Gemini Jets have released 3 of these. Back in 2018, they released 2 within, I think, a month of each other. Now I bought both of those except my first one broke. So while I do technically have 2 Southwest 737 MAX 8s already, I only have 1 of them in my collection. So this is going to make for my second kind of collection-worthy Southwest 737 MAX 8. So with that being said, we're just going to go ahead now and open the box. It's a very typical kind of Southwest box, plain white and everything, just the very basic details. And then inside the cradle and under the plastic, we have the model. Now that we haven't had a Southwest 737 MAX 8 from Gemini Jets for almost 4 years, I have noticed a couple details that are different from the 2018 version. And so in the back there, we have the 2018 version. The first detail that I noticed is with the nose. Now on the left there, you can see that's the new 737 MAX 8. And then on the right here, we have the older one. Now I don't know if you can see that, but the newer Southwest MAX 8 has a much higher landing gear, and as well the nose points up slightly more. As well, there are some smaller little differences as well. This is the 2018 version. Around the Wi-Fi box there, you can see there's a really thick white line, and on the newer version you can see that that white line is a lot less pronounced. As well as that, there's some more very minor details, like on this version you can see that the engine cowling is very thick, and then on the new version, if I bring that one in, you can see that this version has a very thin engine cowling. So overall, very minor changes. It is good to see Gemini Jets pay attention to these really tiny little details. I don't think they've messed anything up on either the older version or the new version. I think they're both pretty brilliant models. I've always said that Gemini Jets have very good 737 MAX aircraft. There's a few molds that they don't get right, but the 737 MAX is one that they do get right. So yeah, I do think this model is a really good one. I probably won't go through this model in detail just because it's a Southwest model. What more do you need to see? So apart from that, I think we're going to take this off to the side and we're going to get out our next model. And so next up, we have the Gemini Jets Hawaiian Airlines Airbus A321neo. With the exception of the 787-9, the Airbus A321neo is Hawaiian's newest aircraft. It's a replacement for the 767, but it's not a direct replacement. They're kind of using this aircraft on many routes to the west coast of the US from Hawaii. Some of the more high demand routes, like for example Honolulu to Los Angeles, are still being flown on the A330. But these aircraft are operating to not really some of the smaller airports, but some of the lower demand airports. Those are airports such as Portland, Sacramento, San Diego, other airports like that. Those are the airports where sending an A330 all the time doesn't really make sense, so this kind of fills that void between having a large aircraft or no aircraft. As I said, I don't need this aircraft for any model airport in particular. I just bought this because I really love Hawaiian Airlines, and as I've bought the A330 and the 787, I thought I might as well buy this one as well. The box is pretty much the same as the Southwest boxes in the sense that it's white. We've got the Hawaiian Hawaiian logo up there. We've got the aircraft here, but then we have this Hawaiian floral pattern here as well. But opening the box, you can see that we've got the model inside there. But taking the model out of the cradle now, we have the Gemini Jets Hawaiian A321neo. It's also probably worth noting that this isn't the first release of the Hawaiian A321neo. Gemini Jets have released this aircraft in the past. But starting off at the front of the aircraft here, you can see we've got the A320 style nose here. We've got the forward landing gear, got the L1 door there. We've got the Hawaiian flag. We've got the name of the aircraft, which I can't actually read because it's so tiny. Then up here we've got the purple Hawaiian titles there. We've got the L2 door, then moving to the middle of the aircraft. We have that new addition to the new Hawaiian livery. We have this kind of lei that wraps around, this silver lei that wraps around the fuselage. The lei is of course the Hawaiian necklace that's made of flowers. Then there we have the giant Neo engines, which have been improved, I do have to admit. It's still not looking the best. Those engines are pretty close to the ground there, but it's better than the old iterations of the Gemini Jets and Neo aircraft. Then moving to the best part of the aircraft, we have the rear of the aircraft, we have the registration, we have the US flag there, and then we have the best part. We have this floral design down here with purple and pink flowers, and then we have that Hawaiian woman with the orange kind of flower in her hair. And then in the background there we have the purple that kind of fades to pink near the top of the tail. So overall, a really nice aircraft. I cannot wait to add this to my collection alongside my A313-787. And I think now that I've got this one, if Gemini Jets do release one of the Hawaiian 717s, I might have to go for that one as well. And so next, here we have the Gemini Jets Avianca Airbus A321neo. Now, as I said near the start of this video, this aircraft is going to be a replacement for my Avianca A321. This model was originally a Gemini Jets Finnair A321. If you remember back to one of my really old Edinburgh updates, you can actually see that Finnair A321 in the update, and that is this exact aircraft here. I then sent this away to be customized and it came back like this. It's a pretty good customization job. It's just I've never really been a fan of custom models. Whenever I can, I would much prefer to buy the real thing. So I've had this in my collection for a while, but finally we have a replacement. Now, Avianca at the moment are in a little bit of a turbulent spot because of COVID, and it gets a little bit confusing talking about Avianca because they're not just one airline. They have a list of many different airlines based out of different countries, and just to Washington Dulles alone, 3 of the Avianca airlines fly into Washington Dulles. So you have Avianca, which is the main airline. They fly to Bogota and La Paz. You then have Avianca Costa Rica, which fly to Guatemala City. And then you have Avianca El Salvador, who fly to San Salvador. Now, the last update on the Avianca A321neos that I could find was that they're all in storage. They're in storage at the Orlando Sanford Airport, and they're currently not being used. But as I said, I'm getting this aircraft more to fill a void. I would prefer to get either an A319 or an A320. So starting off at the front of the aircraft here, we've got the same mold as the Hawaiian A321neo that we've just gone over. So here we have the cockpit windows, we have the Colombian flag there, we have the L1 and L2 doors there, and we have the Avianca titles with the logo there, the forward landing gear. Moving to the middle of the aircraft, we have those red engines with again the Avianca logo on there. We have the red stripes on the winglets there, and then on the inside, if you can see that, we have again the Avianca logo. Then moving to the rear of the aircraft, here we have the registration, we have multiple antennas, then we have the rear door, and we have this red stripe leading up to the Avianca tail at the back of the aircraft. So all in all, a pretty cool aircraft. I am still clinging on to hope that Gemini Jets will release an Avianca A319 and A320, but as I say, for now, this A321neo will do. And then next up here, we have 2 of the Gemini Jets United Express CRJ200s. Again, I probably won't even go through these in much detail just because I've already unboxed these before in the past. And I do have to say, now that I'm on the topic of Gemini Jets models coming broken, Gemini Jets have really stepped up their game as of late as to broken models. I don't think I've had a single broken Gemini Jets model in, I have to say, months. In fact, looking back over the last year of 2021, I think the only model that I was really dissatisfied with was that Volga Denimper Antonov 124. Apart from that, most of, if not all of the other Gemini Jets models that I've had have been amazing. There's still some issues with the molds. I do think there are kind of two separate issues that people usually clump into one, and that's mold issues where the actual aircraft doesn't resemble the real aircraft, and then there's kind of quality control issues where they come broken. And I do think that Gemini Jets and NG models, they have an issue with each of those problems. So Gemini Jets have actually been really good at quality control. Their models over the last year, as you can see, haven't come broken. These are perfect models, but where Gemini Jets fail is in their molds. So for example, with these A321neos and a lot of their other neo aircraft and other molds, they don't really add up to the real aircraft. Like for example, the engines are still way too close to the ground. They have made improvements on the molds, but I still do think they're not the best they can be. And then on the other side, NG, their molds are absolutely impeccable. They're beautiful, they're amazing to have, but they do have a problem with quality control. In 2021, I probably had between 5 and 10 NG models come broken, but then again, the actual molds of the aircraft have been absolutely beautiful. So it seems like with Gemini Jets and NG models, you either get really good models that have a higher chance of coming broken, or you get slightly substandard models that don't come broken. But one thing I do have to say is that Gemini Jets have come a long way since I made that downfall of Gemini Jets video in 2019. Everything I said in that video lives up to Gemini Jets in 2019. I do think that they have changed since then, and if I were to make that video again in 2021, it would be different. That doesn't mean I'm going to take down that video, because what I say in that video lives up to Gemini Jets in 2019. That is what everybody thought in 2019, so I'm not gonna alter my opinion in that video because that's what everybody thought in 2019. But it is now 2022 and Gemini Jets have changed. But yeah, as you can see, these are two perfect little models. I won't go through these in detail just because I have unboxed these before. I will leave a link down in the description below to my previous unboxing where I unboxed my other United CRJ 200s. But we're going to put these off to the side and I'm going to get on to my final model. And here we have the final model. This is the Gemini Jets FedEx Express ATR 72. Now this aircraft isn't native to the United States. This aircraft is registered from Ireland. I believe this is based in Shannon. When I was doing my research for this video, FedEx only had one of these. Now probably since then, when you're watching this, they have more just because they had a few on order. When this was released, when this model was released, they only had one. And while this is a FedEx aircraft, it's actually operated by ASL Ireland. And so with that being said, we're just going to go ahead now and open this box. It's a very typical Gemini Jets box. Another white box, the fourth white box of this unboxing. And then inside the cradle here, we have the plastic. And oh boy, as I start to praise Gemini Jets for their brand new outlook on quality control, you just can't make this stuff up. After 3 years of Gemini Jets wanting to hang me for what I've said, and then I've finally kind of come to terms with how Gemini Jets have changed, in quotation marks, we have another broken Gemini Jets model. Oh, that is ironic more than anything, but we have, I guess this is the forward landing gear. It's a very small piece, I will admit. Okay, I'm going to put that off to the side, the small little piece. I'm not going to lose that. Look how tiny that pieces. How do you even, I literally can't even hold that. That is tiny. Look how tiny that wheel is. That is absolutely tiny. But I think we're just going to go through this model in detail. Without that, you're just going to have to excuse the lack of a forward landing gear there. Now, starting off at the front of the ATR 72, we have the cockpit windows there. We then have the cargo door. Now, the cargo door is actually here also on the passenger version as well. The ATR is a pretty unique aircraft in the sense that the cargo sits up front here and then the passengers are behind here. I've never flown the ATR 72, but I have flown the ATR 42, and the only difference between the two is just the ATR 42 is slightly shorter. We then have the FedEx feeder titles there. We then have the engines on the wings there, the propellers as well. I'm glad that they didn't come broken. And then here at the rear of the aircraft, we have the door there. We then have the purple of the FedEx livery there. We have the FedEx titles, the Irish flag, and then the registration, which is Echo India, is that Golf Uniform Lima? I think it's very small, very hard to read, but I think I just about got that. And then of course we have the T-tail wings at the back there. And overall, minus the breakage, that's actually a really good model. Now, one thing I'm really hoping Gemini Jets do is they start releasing some more kind of UK regional aircraft. Now, I say this for a couple reasons, just because we need them, full stop, but also because they've started to release a lot of regional aircraft for the US, and we're going to get to a point now where US regional aircraft won't be uncommon. And once that happens, maybe Gemini Jets could expand out to other countries like the UK. I feel like outside of the US, the UK is probably the most high demand country for model aircraft. And so I would love to see some UK regional aircraft be released. And we do have hope, as Gemini Jets in their future releases have announced a Saab 340 from Loganair. Loganair are a Scottish airline. They have bases in Aberdeen, Edinburgh, Glasgow, and although they are a Scottish airline, they do also have a base in Newcastle, which is in England. And while they are a Scottish airline, they do fly down to airports in England, Wales, Ireland, and Northern Ireland as well. And with the Saab 340 being released, that means that Gemini Jets, they have the licensing for Loganair. So maybe we could see an ERJ 145, as we've had the American Eagle ERJ 145 recently. So maybe we could get a Loganair ERJ 145. Now that we've got the, for example, the ATR 42 and 72, maybe we could see that from Loganair as well. And if that's the case, then we could start seeing some other UK regional airlines as well, like Blue Islands, Orkney, Eastern. Because the issue is for UK collectors that if you're trying to model an airport outside of London Heathrow, it's pretty much impossible. Then you look outside of London Heathrow, you've got some of the larger UK airports like Edinburgh, Glasgow, Manchester, London Gatwick, Luton, Stansted, and they're just all full of low-cost airlines, and Gemini Jets don't release those as well. They've never released an EasyJet A320. I don't believe they've ever released a Ryanair 737. And then if you go outside of those, some smaller UK airports, then you're stuck with the regional problem of we don't have Eastern, we don't have Blue Islands, we don't have Orkney, we don't have Loganair. And this is really the problem with Gemini Jets at the moment. They're really way too US biased. I'm really glad that they are releasing some of these kind of aircraft like the American ERJ 145, the American E175, the Delta CRJ 700. We do need some kind of attention to other places in the world. A lot of you guys are always asking me why I collect for US airports and not UK airports. And the truth is you can't really collect for UK airports unless you go the custom route and kind of customize your own aircraft. So the summary of all of that is hopefully Gemini Jets actually start releasing some UK regional aircraft, and it does look hopeful with that Loganair Saab 340. So we can cross our fingers and hope that that's the direction that Gemini Jets are heading in. And just like that, that concludes this unboxing. It was almost perfect. If we had this FedEx ATR 72 in okay condition, I think this would be a perfect unboxing. But sadly it's not, but I am looking hopeful that I will be able to fix the aircraft. We'll just have to see. And apart from that, so that concludes this unboxing. I should, fingers crossed, have an unboxing out next Tuesday and then the Tuesday after that. But we'll just have to see. So again, I hope you enjoyed today's unboxing and I will see you in the next one. Bye.